Block punts by the Detroit Lions ruined Bart Starr's debut as head coach of the Packers. The Lions towed out and fired in on rookie punter Steve Broussard, and they bruised his body and his psyche. Capitalizing on Broussard's first game jitters, number 23 Levi Johnson flew in to snuff a punt and recover it for the first Detroit touchdown. For the luckless rookie, Lion Lightning struck a second time when another perfect block by Johnson was turned into another 6 points by number 51 Larry Ball. Ball's touchdown was the stepping stone in an eventual 30-16 victory for second-year coach Rick Forzano. The Atlanta Falcons tried to shake off the effects of a first-week loss to St. Louis, dealt to them in the final few seconds. The Lion team disguised its intentions and changed its defensive face, but Atlanta solved that by popping Haskell Standback clean for the game's first touchdown. With Ron Jesse in Los Angeles and Larry Walton injured, the Detroit air game was suspect until rookie Dennis Franklin, number 89, glided into view. Franklin was the starting quarterback for Michigan a year ago, and scrambling against Ohio State was certainly easier than running post patterns in the danger zone. Detroit tied the game at 7 by taking advantage of a predetermined slant by Falcon tackle Mike Lewis, number 69, and a wall block by Lynn Bowden, number 62. Bowden's solo block sent Horace King on a free ride to 6 points. Trailing 14-10 with just over a minute to play, the Lions' Altie Taylor followed number 24 Dexter Bussey over a mass of bodies to the winning touchdown.
Out in Michigan, another stadium was beckoning thousands under its domed expanses to witness the Detroit Lions christen their new field with victory. Unpretentiously titled Pontiac Stadium, the Lions' new domain is billed as the world's largest indoor football arena. The stadium features a flexible dome, and it's quite apparent upon entering the building that powerful air blowers are employed to keep the ceiling inflated. Once past the rather stormy entranceway, the stadium is both calm and colossal. But while the trappings are futuristic, last Sunday, the fans came to witness the home team slap a good old-fashioned black and blue division brawl on the Chicago Bears, and no one left disappointed. With the Chicago offense intimidated into ineffectuality, Lion quarterback Bill Munson got Detroit on the board with a flip to number 88, Charlie Sanders. A short time later, Munson was poised again, and despite a safety blitz, he launched a perfect strike to number 45, Ray Jarvis. Munson's third scoring effort was a steeply arched lob into the Bears' end zone where John Staggers made a sensational catch. A repeat shows how Staggers' remarkable grab turned an underthrown pass into 6 Lion points. The Detroit point production was not entirely born of wing, however, as late in the fourth quarter, running back Horace King packed it in from 15 yards out. King's touchdown finalized a 27-7 butchering of the Bears, and at the game's end, yet another super stadium had been inaugurated with its first victory.
Meanwhile, Detroit head coach Rick Forzano, a former assistant to the master Paul Brown, had an interesting problem in San Francisco. Due to multiple injuries, he had a team with no recognizable offensive players. After trailing 10-0 at the half, Forzano's makeshift offense came to life. Former 49er Joe Reed threw touchdown passes to wide receiver Ray Jarvis, number 45, and to a running back who accounted for 150 yards of total offense, Dexter Bussey, number 24. Forzano's Lions, despite everything, came back to win 28-17. In the NFC Central, there are only two coaches with winning records, Bud Grant and Rick Forzano of the Detroit Lions. So far this season, no less than 22 Detroit players have been crippled by injuries, but the Lions have maintained a winning record and rank a surprising third in the NFC in overall defense. With Greg Landry and Bill Munson among the injured, Joe Reed, number 14, has led a cast of rookies and rejects, a cast which includes wide receiver and backup quarterback Marlon Briscoe, number 43. Another well-traveled but still anonymous wide receiver who has come on strong of late is Ray Jarvis, number 45. Another chance is all that players like Briscoe, Jarvis, and Joe Reed have asked of Detroit coach Rick Forzano. And from this disparate and somewhat desperate group, Forzano has molded a winner. Not yet a serious challenger for the Super Bowl, but a spirited club with a surprising solid 5-3 mark. As number 29 Ben Davis said last week after his interception return clinched victory over his former team, the Cleveland Browns, quote, "It's really nice to be with a winner again." In even worse shape than the Bears are Bart Starr's Green Bay Packers, who have won only one game this year. But even Coach Starr can manage a grin when he talks about his rookie running back, Willard Harrell. Harrell, number 40, accounted for Green Bay's only touchdown with this pass to Steve Odom. As a runner, Harrell's only drawback seems to be his inability to use his blockers in the open field. Against the Detroit Lions' rugged defense, Harrell gained only 39 yards, but he seems to learn something each week, and his future seems extremely bright. The past is all that's left for the Packers' other running back, John Brockington, number 42. Stiffened and slowed by injuries, Brockington is no longer the fearsome blaster of years gone by, and is part of the reason why Green Bay's running game is the worst in the NFC. With no ground attack to worry about, defenses have been able to launch an all-out assault on aging quarterback John Hadl. Last Sunday against Detroit, Hadl was sacked 3 times and intercepted twice, both times by Dick Geron, number 26. The game was decided by Detroit's offense, who made the big plays Green Bay could not. Quarterback Joe Reed passed to Charlie Sanders for the Lions' only touchdown. Then Reed set up the game-winning field goal with a 48-yard completion to number 45, Ray Jarvis. Harold Mann's last-second field goal gave Detroit their 6th win, and the Lions remain a dark horse in the race for the NFC wildcard berth. Instead of giving up, Detroit Lion coach Rick Forzano has molded a respectable group from a bunch of rejects, replacing injured stars with unheralded names like number 24 running back Dexter Bussey. Injuries to quarterbacks Bill Munson and Greg Landry have given 4-year pro Joe Reed, number 14, a second opportunity after flunking a chance with the 49ers. And in last Sunday's game with another surprise team this season, the Kansas City Chiefs, Reed's scrambling kept the Lions in the thick of things. Reed threw for one Lion touchdown and bullied in for another, as Detroit matched the Chiefs point for point through 4 quarters. Kansas City tallied first on a Lenny Dawson to Larry Brunson touchdown connection. The Chiefs, like the Lions, have overcome a rash of crippling injuries to emerge as a better-than-average ball club. And with a ground attack paced by a healthy Woody Green and MacArthur Lane, number 42, the Chiefs zipped through one of the NFC's best defenses against the run for over 250 yards. The appearance of a Kansas City ground game was a welcome sight for Chief fans, and it was this ground explosion that allowed the Chiefs to move in for the kill when the game, tied at 21-all, slipped into overtime. Woody Green's John set the Chiefs in close, where a 24-21 victory became theirs when Jan Stenerud kicked the game-winning field goal. The new enthusiasm which exudes from head coach Paul Wiggin has suddenly helped make watching Kansas City Chief football better than anyone expected. The Bear was not about to kiss and tell and growl about his Chicago Bears. Neither was quarterback Bob Avellini, a chunky hunk of rookie meat whose staggered snap count was an invitation for the overeager Detroit Lions to come to dinner. Avellini proved to be a beggar's banquet to the Lions, who evidently were trying to re-merchandise the old black and blue myths about the NFC Central Division. When Avellini's senses and headgear were restored, the rookie from Maryland attempted to pry apart the stunning gambling Detroit defense with long-range passing. This strategy produced 2 interceptions but failed to alter Avellini's style. Sooner or later, he knew the adventurous Lions would be trapped with single coverage on speedy Bo Rather, number 80. All year long, the Bears have tried to unleash the splendid talents of number 1 draft choice Walter Payton, whose Achilles heel is the crucial fumble. Once again, Peyton's inopportune turnover seemed to bury the Bears, but Bob Avellini sought a second opinion. The result was a reprieve for Peyton and 6 points for Chicago. Avellini's knack of swallowing the Lions' secondary in large gulps can be attributed to perfect protection and Bo Rather's elusive patterns. Down deep, straight-ahead power football produced Peyton's second touchdown and a 19-7 lead for the Bears. It was only a matter of time before Lion quarterback Joe Reed found the soft parts in the Bears' flabby zone. Marlon Briscoe, a gypsy receiver, caught 2 touchdowns. The second covered 59 yards and returned the lead to Detroit 21-19. Briscoe turned up lame, and so did the Lions' defense. Their gambling style of play was reflected by linebacker Charlie Weaver, number 59, whose inside blitzes opened up the sidelines for valuable gains by Walter Payton. This rush and roulette style of play cost Detroit the game when Chicago caught them in a full blitz, and rookie Roland Harper, number 35, scored the winning touchdown. Roland Harper was Chicago's final draft choice, and his only entry in their press guide notes that at Louisiana Tech he was the blocking back for Charles Quick Six McDaniel, the man he beat out for a spot on the Bears roster. Such stuff are what fairy tales and victories are made of. Bears 25, Lions 21.
The trials of youth, however, had little bearing on the Vikings-Lions contest in Detroit. There, the league's most elderly club encountered a go-for-broke Lion team that for a week at least rudely postponed Fran Tarkenton's destiny to break the NFL's all-time touchdown passing record. It was an unpleasant afternoon for the man who is inexorably taking his place as the NFL's all-time greatest quarterback, as 4 times the Lions roared in to thwart history in the making. The Lion defense showed its grit early as it beat back the Vikings at their own goal line's door. And soon after what was to be touchdown number 290 for Fran became instead the first of 2 interceptions he would throw for the day. Number 23, Levi Johnson, was the interceptor, and in that instant the idea of an upset became emblazoned in Detroit's mind. Riding the momentum of Johnson's turnover, the Detroit offense surged downfield, and quickly Joe Reed to number 43, Marlon Briscoe, gave the Lions first blood. Detroit then boldly played out their hand with a surprising and successful onside kick. And just 37 seconds later, number 33, Bobby Thompson, shot through a hole in the Viking line, and suddenly it was Lions 14, division champions nothing. But that was not the final surprise in a game full of unusual events. In the third quarter, the Vikings returned back at the goal once again, when number 35, Robert Miller, lost the ball, and Detroit's Lem Barney came up with a super play. 74 yards later, Barney had his team in go position, deep in Viking territory. But a short time later, Joe Reed's fumble put the Lions' afternoon of upset in serious jeopardy. Number 58, Wally Hilgenberg, scooped up the ball and then lateral to number 22, Paul Krause, who completed the 86-yard scoring play. But one Viking spectacular was not enough to squash Detroit's impassioned effort, as the Lions partially salved the wounds of a frustrating season with their 17-10 victory over arch-rival Minnesota.